All right, today we're doing something really cool. We're going to build a fully functional expert AI team from the ground up. Let's dive right in. So just think about this for a second. What if instead of spending months and months on recruiting and onboarding, you could build an entire expert finance team and have them up and running in under an hour? Seriously, that is the kind of power we are going to unlock today.
Okay, so what is an AI agent team, really? Well, it's not just one chatbot trying to do everything. No way. Think of it like a real team. You've got a group of specialized AIs, say a pricing expert, an analyst, a coordinator, and they all work together. They literally hand off tasks to each other to solve really complex problems. This is basically the next evolution of AI collaboration.
So, where do we even begin? Well, it starts with the most critical piece of the whole puzzle, the blueprint. And listen, this is not about trying to write some magical, perfect prompt. The real work, the magic, it all happens in the planning phase way before you even involve the AI.
And this slide right here, it shows you exactly why that blueprint is so important. If you just throw in a vague prompt like, build me a finance team, you're going to get a vague, pretty useless result. But a detailed blueprint, that gives the AI the exact instructions it needs to build a team that actually works and gets stuff done.
And when I say detailed, I mean it. Your blueprint has to lay it all out. You need to define the specific roles for each agent. Who's the coordinator? Who's the analyst? You need to spell out their core responsibilities, the whole workflow, how they hand off tasks, and super important, you need to build in checkpoints where a human has to step in and approve things. This structure, it's the foundation for everything else. Okay, so our blueprint is locked in. Now we get to the fun part. Step 2, actually assembling the agents. This is where the AI takes our plan and basically brings it to life, creating the individual members of our brand new team.
And just like that, meet the team. The AI actually gives them names and roles based on our blueprint. So we've got Morgan, who's going to be our coordinator, Blake, the pricing and revenue strategist, Riley is our deal and investment analyst, and Casey's handling all the financial ops. They are literally ready to go.
You're probably wondering, how does this happen so fast? It's pretty amazing. The model takes our super detailed blueprint and then it generates these things called skill files for each agent. The best way to think about these is like digital job descriptions. They're packed with all the instructions and know-how each agent needs to do its specific job.
And this is such a great way to think about it. These skill files are, for all intents and purposes, your job descriptions. In fact, you could literally just take your company's existing job descriptions and paste them right in. It's that direct.
All right, on to step 3, and this one is crucial. We have to add business context. You see, a generic team is fine, but a team that understands your business, your data, that's an absolute game changer. This is where we make them smart about us.
So to make this team truly yours, you have to feed it your core business info. We're talking about things like your company's org chart and headcount, your specific cost models and fixed costs, what your target profit margins are, even vendor data. This is the stuff that makes the AI's analysis actually relevant and incredibly powerful.
And what happens when you give it all that data? Well, the AI creates something called a shared knowledge base. Think of it like a central library or a single source of truth that every single agent on the team can pull from. This guarantees that they're all on the same page, giving you consistent and accurate analysis every time.
Okay, the team is built, they're trained on our business, now for the moment of truth. Step 4 is the live test. We're going to throw a really complex, real-world problem at them and see what happens.
So here's the challenge we're giving them. We need to price a complex 3-month project. The client is anticipating a benefit of around $2.5 million from this work. The big question is, what do we charge? Let's hand it over to the team and see what they come up with.
And just look at this workflow go. It's all happening automatically. Morgan, the coordinator, gets the request and immediately knows to route it to Blake, our strategist. Blake then just takes over, breaking down the costs, scoping the project, even flagging potential resource problems, and then generates the pricing options. It's a totally seamless, automated handoff process.
And this is what's so incredible. The team didn't just spit out a number. It delivered real strategic insights. It actually flagged a potential staffing shortage, then it proactively suggested we could outsource some of the work and even found the going market rates about $150 to $175 an hour. It modeled both the internal and outsourced cost scenarios and then calculated a final price based on the value to the client. Amazing!
So, after all that complex analysis, the team comes back with a super clear, data-driven recommendation. The final price tag? $425,000. That is a confident, strategic answer that was generated in just minutes. Think about that, not weeks, minutes.
But, it's not just for these huge strategic questions. The team can also crush the everyday, tedious stuff. Look at this. We gave it a messy screenshot of some software receipts, and bam! It instantly turns it into a clean, categorized table ready to be uploaded right into QuickBooks. It even labeled the expenses correctly. The efficiency here is just incredible.
So what does this all mean for us? What's the big picture here? Well, what we're looking at is a fundamental change in how work gets done and how we even think about building teams.
So let's just recap the key takeaways here. First, success all starts with that detailed plan, right? Not a simple prompt. Second, it's your specific business context that makes the AI so powerful. Third, these teams can handle everything from complex strategy to routine everyday tasks. And maybe the most important point of all, this isn't some far-off future tech. You can build a functional, expert team in minutes, right now.
We built a finance team today. But the same technology lets you create specialized teams for marketing, for research, for content creation, anything you can imagine really, all on demand. So the only real question left to ask is, now that you've got your expert finance team built, what team are you going to build next?